What's up? This is like my third or um, maybe fourth time starting this video. I find that reps, I don't make a video for a few days. I, I stumble over my words and I don't know what to say. Um, and I'm starting to overanalyze views, and I don't know if I'm talking too much in the beginning of these videos or whatever, but it is what it is. So, today, I wanted to talk about how I, uh, particularly how I approach writing melodic lines. I'm a huge fan of melody. I think when we're all first starting out and we're young teenagers and we pick up a guitar, at least when I came up, uh, fast shredders were the thing, right? So as fast as you could play. And I used to think that like alternate picking, that was the thing to do, but gosh, it's just even now I can't do it right. It just sounds like a mess. As I matured and got older, and got into other kinds of music and learned more about how to make music on the guitar, I became a huge fan of melodic lines. Um, and those are typically in a bit slower songs, so they'll be blues or jazz can be pretty fast, but blues or maybe R&B, just slow jams, I guess. I became a big fan of that, and I I delved into that a lot, where I wanted to create more melodic lines that sounded really good. And you can speed those up and play. Joe Bonamassa plays fantastic melodic lines, super fast and slow, a mixture of both. I guess it just depends on the application. Um, what I really like is the intersection of harmony and melody. So first let's talk. So some of the rules, if you want to call them that, around melodic lines are you should have small, stepwise movements in a melodic line. So if you're here, right, that's D, that's the 7, that's 6, right? So you can kind of walk right down that scale. Right. So that's the that's the line. That's a line. And then you should incorporate jumps in your line where you jump several intervals. So a lot of times when I make those jumps, so those are the essentially the rules when you create a melody. Many stepwise motions, back and forth. You can go. That's fine. And then a few jumps to create some flavor. So when you go from like here to it's a lot. It even sounds good. A bit dissonant, and the reverb and delay kind of helps it ring out. Kind of helps it ring out a bit. So those are the rules, and I kind of stick to those. What I like to do, my hands aren't long enough for my thumb to wrap around like many people do, so I'll play a chord. So a D sus2 chord, let's say. Now I know my scale notes are. Right. That's my root. I kind of want that to drone for the intersection of harmony and melody. You can do it right out of a chord. That's all melody inside of a chord, and they're all chord tones, so they're all going to sound good. And you have some jumps, so you'll kind of walk right down. Those are the jumps, and that. What I really like to do, if it fits, depending on what I'm playing. If I'm just playing by myself, then I can do whatever I want. But if it's a song, you have to make sure that it fits. But like, so you're playing this D sus2, root the D, open string, you can, and so depending on where you're at, you can do that scale right out of your chord. Another reason why I like bar chords, you can kind of do it here. Kind of. So I find it's a little better in this because I get bass and treble. So that's really the basics of how to marry those two, is find the scale inside of that chord you're playing. Even if you're playing a non-root chord, so say it's a 1, this is a 2, same thing, because it's the same scale. Last thing, so I'm probably influenced the most from Derek Trucks with this. When like, and he's had interviews where he talked about this, where like his melodies are based on vocals. So, I mean, if you say a guitar player makes a guitar sing, it's him. He definitely makes the guitar sing. So that's what I try to do. So if I'm creating a melody line, let's say. So that's something I would do. I do lots of slides. Make sure that's a good interval to go to. Bends. Lots of vibrato because the voice would do that, right? A voice might be really delicate, but then pick it up. Something like that. That's really it. So that's how I approach melodic lines. I enjoy playing those probably the most. Maybe too much. Maybe my stuff sounds the same, but that's okay. I'm all right with that. That's it. So maybe you can incorporate that in your playing. That's how I do it. If you do it a different way, I'd love to know how you do it. But that's how I approach kind of the intersection of harmony and melody to try to make the guitar sing. So, hope that helps. See you later.